When former enemies finally shook hands against all odds as the 1990s approached, it was the start of determined negotiations that would not only end more than 4 decades of apartheid rule, but also hundreds of years of colonial bloodshed that go all the way back to King Shaka of the Zulu Kingdom and Piet Retief, the symbol of Afrikaner domination. What were needed were courageous voices on all sides that could look beyond the injustices of the past in order to forge a new way forward.
De Afrikaner volk gaat nie nasionale selfmoord pleeg. Dit is seker die enigste hoor.
Because it was illegal for whites to engage in political discussions with blacks at the time, clandestine meetings with the external wing of the ANC were held at secret locations all over the world. The goal was to open lines of communication that would help chart a new course for all South Africans. President Kenneth Kaunda would prove to be an integral force in helping break down the stereotypes and hostilities that had plagued all sides for centuries.
Unless we remove the root cause of the dangers of the situation that exists today in Southern Africa, we are going to be confronted by an explosion in South Africa that would make the French Revolution look like a very early morning picnic.
Among those pioneers was the liberal parliamentarian Frederick van Zyl Slabbert, who had grown disillusioned with the white ruling class, and the radical Reverend Beyers Naudé, who had resigned from the Broederbond after the horror of the Sharpeville massacre in 1960. Along with other liberal-minded whites, groups of politicians, journalists, poets, and businessmen took great risks to cross a hostile historic divide.
And the significance lies in the fact that South Africans from inside South Africa are willing to explore, in a very sincere way, alternatives to a brutal catastrophe that is unfolding in our country.
Hidden from the world in the hot African bush, encounters like the Dakar Safari made tremendous steps towards establishing faith, trust, and goodwill.
My name is Thabo Mbeki. I'm an Afrikaner.
As the 1980s drew to a close, such efforts of goodwill only enraged the apartheid regime, and in turn, they increased their brutality. Still, many argued that it was only through dialogue that lasting change would come.
The ANC has always been ready, but we've been saying that it's important that a climate should be created. And de Klerk says, yes, they will do something about the state of emergency. Yes, the issue of political prisoners needs to be discussed and so on. He recognizes that he hasn't quite reached the point where that climate has been created.
So, individuals like Mac Maharaj, Paulo Jordan, Thabo Mbeki, Chris Hani, and others were appointed by the ANC to explore opportunities for discussions. It was only through many taxing and punishing hours of dialogue that a democratic settlement was eventually able to emerge, one that required both sides to build trust, to listen, and to respect one another as equals, no matter how traumatic or challenging the historic divides.